There's something quite powerful that happens when you sit in a room of people that you previously thought were out of your league, and you suddenly realise that they're kind of just like you, they're normal people. This happened to me when I went into Seth Godin's altMBA in 2021. I almost didn't apply because I thought, that's way above my... I saw the videos on the website and I thought, they're way above my pay grade. These people, they're going to be way better than me. Does that sound familiar? Then I worked with a coach who'd previously done it on something else, and she almost frog marched me in there because she said to me, that is exactly what you need. And you know, she was right. If you never met me before, my name's Mike. I help business owners and solopreneurs tell the stories that they think don't matter. And today I want to talk about one of the most pervasive and dangerous myths in business, particularly for very, very small businesses, is the idea that they've done nothing special. Why would anybody care what I have to say? One of the turning points for me was when I first started. I got into this virtual room with a bunch of people. We were just talking away. There was a CEO of a engineering business in Holland. There was an Indian engineer who lived in Munich, I think, or Berlin. There was a diplomat in the Foreign Office in London. I only found out later she was a very senior diplomat. There was the head of English language content at the Danish Tourist Board in Copenhagen, and a Spaniard running an NGO in Cameroon. And then there was me, this guy from London who'd been around a little bit but didn't really think he'd done anything special. Certainly nothing as special as all those guys. I'd almost talked myself out of applying for this, and here I was in the middle of this Zoom room with these wonderful people, and we got on like a house on fire. But this isn't just my story. Last month I was working with a South African HR consultant who'd grown up on the wrong side of the fence in 1980s South Africa. She built this incredible business as an HR consultant in London, using all her previous experience, political experience or life experience, if you like, to put into the spirit of what she does, to help companies build better cultures, more inclusive cultures, more comprehensive cultures, more cultures that work, basically. But she didn't realise how important all this stuff was, or the importance of her work, because she just said, oh, I just do HR stuff, which on the face of it is true. That's what she does. But that's not all the story. She's here transforming company cultures. She's mentoring new recruitments for startup, not for startup business, but for scale-up businesses. She's basically being a mentor for these generally younger business owners who look up to her for all her expertise and all her experience. I said to her, you're a strategist and a mentor. And she burst into tears. Happily, but still kind of very emotional, because it was almost as though she knew this in her core, deep down, but someone needed to tell her. So this is what the myth does to us. It's not about being humble and not bragging and not showing off. It's almost about actively refusing to see the value of our own experience and our own expertise. Because when we dismiss our story, we're robbing others of the opportunity to benefit from our experience. Just think about it. This HR consultant with direct experience of what happens when exclusion removes people from the workplace and how it affects workplace culture. She almost kept all that wisdom and all that experience to herself because she felt like it wasn't special enough. I kind of did the same thing For years, I translated other people's words. I was a writer vicariously through the words of other people. I told other people's stories. I helped people tell their own stories. But for some weird reason, I couldn't see the value in mine. I think I was probably scared of what people thought. That's a kind of a very human reaction. But it doesn't do us any good, because I found out now that people do actually care. Because a lot of what we experience is quite universal, and people can relate to that because they've generally had the same things happen to them. And us or you talking about your experience almost validates theirs. The turning point happened when I realised something quite crucial. Having nothing to say is impossible. No one has absolutely nothing to say, because we all have opinions, we all have ideas. So the sheer fact that you have nothing to say, quite frank, is wrong. Every day you live, every problem you face, everything you overcome, that's something worth saying, because everything you experience, somebody else has experienced the same thing. And I know what you're thinking. I can hear you from here thinking, well, that's all very interesting, but my story really isn't interesting. But that voice you're hearing, it's not really your voice. It's the voice of every parent, every teacher, every peer that's ever made some kind of sarcastic remark to you that you've taken on board and you believed. Everybody that's made you feel small, was wanted to make you feel small, has made you feel small, and they're wrong. So here's a little exercise. Take out your phone or get a notebook or whatever you want to record this on, and write down 3 problems that you've solved in your life or your work. We're not talking about kind of big saving the world problems here. I mean, you may have solved world poverty, and you can write that one down. But there's going to be more specific things that you've overcome in your life. Just stuff that you've figured out, all on your own. The important thing here is that for each of those problems, well, somebody else has faced them. They must have done. So your solution, your insight, your experience may be just what they need. I can't stop saying to everybody, you're boring, you're unimportant, is somebody else's inspirational. Your everyday is somebody else's extraordinary. That's kind of why I'm making these videos, because I realised after more than 40 years of being an adult that our stories aren't limited to us. They're about the problems that we can solve, the lives that we can affect, the lives we can touch, the changes that we can make, the way we can move the world forward. So let me ask you this. What stories are you not telling? What wisdom, which nuggets are you keeping to yourself because you just feel, well, you're not that special? Drop it down in the old comments and let's see if we can start breaking these myths together, just one at a time. And if you are someone who believes in making things better, in creating positive change, well, I'd love you to subscribe and come with me on this journey. I'm right at the beginning and there's all kinds of things that we could do together. I'm really interested in helping optimists find their voice. Because let's face it, we need a few optimists at the moment. And your voice matters far more than you think. I'll see you in the next one.